Hey everybody, Brandon Railway here. I'm going to show you in stages how to do a tie train like in my previous video from Marion, Ohio. So what I use is foam roadbed that comes in rolls. I have my HO Scale ties by Kapler, Midland Lumber Company. 1,000 pieces. It was like 13 bucks. Or no, 18 bucks and $6 shipping. So it was like 24 total for 1,000 ties. I have my tie crane, excavator, whatever you want to call it. And my cars. So as you can see, I've already started here. I'll actually pull this up. You can see I have 2 layers of foam in here, just because the first car that I am trying to emulate has a section here where the ties are below the top of the gondola, but then the rest of the car is pretty much really heaped up over the top, and then it kind of stays even back here. Maybe a little bit more even further in. I can't remember because I'm not looking at the picture right now. But anyhow, what I do is I do that, and then I get Scotch, super glue. I like to use the gel, but they did not have any, so I have the liquid. And set my camera down here for a second so I can get this cap on here and get that punctured so I can start using the glue. And what I want to do is, now that I got that, I want to try to use this foam to get these ties to where they're touching each other. They don't have to be perfect, but where they're touching each other enough to where when I put the glue on, they'll just kind of glue to themselves. And then later I can glue them to the inserts. Or not. I don't absolutely have to. And this glue comes out very runny, which I don't like. That's why I like using the gel. Just a few dabs there. Get the cap back on my glue so it don't run out. And then I take a number 2 paintbrush and carefully just spread the super glue, trying not to get it on the car itself. And after a few seconds, that'll be all dried up, and then I'll be able to do another layer. So anyhow, when I get a little bit more done, I'll do another video to show you a little bit more on how to stack these, and then I'll use my Splice app to put this all together and hopefully have just one video for you guys instead of multiple. Okay, so the next step here that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Scotch glue. Ooh, I got way too much on there, as you can see. But anyhow, take and put a few drops on there and just go ahead, and they don't have to be perfect, but throw a few more ties in there, because when a ballast train or a tie train like this picks these up, they're not going to be perfect. And I guess I lucked out. I don't see any of the glue actually getting on the car. And then I can put a little glue there. And then add some more ties. There's a couple more layers, so then you can see there's actually 3 layers of ties there. And that's all I'm going to have there. And then once we start putting ties on here, it's going to start getting heaped up pretty full. Anyhow, I'll show you guys again, starting over here in the next segment. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll line up a few ties on my plate here. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect, but I just get them lined up that way. I can kind of just drop them down in there. Grab a few more just to do one layer. Doesn't matter how they're placed according with the other ones, because they don't take the time to make sure they're in there perfect when they pick them up anyhow. There we go. And that'll give me a solid layer there. And try and do this left-handed. I am not left-handed, so see how this works. Put just a little drop, and then it'll fan out when you use the paintbrush. I'm going to switch hands here. Use my paintbrush to kind of spread the glue. And then eventually I'll use a 50-50 glue water mix to go all the way down through and hopefully soak into the foam. And that way it's all attached to the foam. Move that back just a little bit away from the edge there. Being that there is glue there, yeah, I'll put a little bit more on there just for the sake of doing a second layer. On the second layer, just like the first, it really does not matter how the ties lie when they drop into place, just that they are in place and glued down. And then I will dab a little bit in there, a little bit in there, and there you have layers 1 and 2 here on the back. Anyhow, I will do an update as I get more done. Okay, here I'm working on the gondola that is going to feature the crane. I'm letting the other gondola dry for now. I don't think I'm going to make it quite as loaded as the original, just because I'm not sure if 1,000 ties is going to be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave car number 1 as, as is for now. I'm going to get car number 3 to where I like it, and then work on the other cars, getting them to where they're good enough, and then whatever I have left over I will use to heap them up to get them to look as close to what I saw in Marion, or as what was in Marion Day 2 video that I done before. So bear with me, because some of this is going to be shot like this and some of this will be different angle. So anyhow, like I said, this will be the crane car, or the picker car, whatever you want to call it, and I will be back with more. So like in the earlier sections, I said you just keep adding to get what you want, height-wise and everything, and then eventually you will have the tie train that we saw in Marion, Ohio on my second day of rail fanning up there. Give you a close-up here. This is not completed yet. I still have to do the painting and make them look weathered. And then, of course, you do need your Dash 9 locomotive to complete the train that was in Marion. So for now, this is Brandon Railway 6920 signing off.